Hello, I am Casper. My nose is wet, my fur is shiny, and my self-esteem is consistently above average. I am a dog who has no doubt that he is a dog, and that is my superpower. Because people are always trying to prove something. Some want to prove that they are better than others. Others want to prove that they are not worse than others. Some say they're not in the best shape right now, but in a month, oh boy, you'll see. People read books to find themselves. I just stare at the sun. People have morning rituals. Mine is 5 seconds of surprise and then my bowl. I don't suck in my stomach. I don't make my cheekbones stick out. I don't count my steps. I just breathe and smell calm. I just run with my friends so fast that the wind whistles in my ears and the ground shakes under my paws. And at the same time, I'm happy and glowing with joy. I don't care what my tail looks like in profile. I don't compare myself to Labradors on Instagram. And even when I'm wet, shivering, and have burrs in my left ear, I'm still Casper. And I'm okay. Yesterday, Andrew and I were walking in the park. I lay down under a bench, buried my nose in the grass, ate a dandelion and some not very tasty ants. And I dreamed of a bowl of confidence and not a shred of doubt. And nearby, there was a gathering of dogs, as if it were a rally of all those who wanted to become better. One spaniel was practicing facial expressions for photo shoots. Archie, a West Highland White Terrier, moved proudly and unhurriedly, like a gentleman choosing the perfect tree for confession. My friend Corey, a Hungarian Vizsla, was rehearsing a dance for doggy TikTok. Even an introverted Akita signed up for a course on how to stop being a snow queen. And I just lay there. They asked me, "Why aren't you pumping yourself up?" I replied, "I'm already pumped up, to the level where even a burdock doesn't bother me." Then Ty Ridgeback Hamlet, all glossy, came up and said, "Without a brand, you're like a bowl without a smell, you're just barking into the void." I sniffed the air. I smelled confidence and chicken. So, I have a brand. I barked. Andrew turned around. So I'm content. They grumbled a little more about being in shape, being focused, being on trend. And I thought, but what about being high? Because I'm not against change. I'm for it. But not when you change yourself to fit someone else's collar. I sat and enjoyed the moment. The sun, the grass, a light breeze blowing on my left side, the perfect temperature for philosophy. And then he appeared, a retriever, with a crystal bowl, with a camera, and with a trainer in pink. "That's Bob on," whispered one dachshund. "He's in a commercial for gluten-free bones and has a contract with Wooflix." He walked to the middle of the park and started doing something that looked like face yoga, but with paws. His trainer shouted, "Bob on. More emotion. Show how happy you were after grooming." I watched and couldn't understand. Was this a walk or a casting? "Who are you?" Bonbon asked me without stopping his stretching. "Casper." "Just Casper? No Instagram handle? No shampoo line? No show? No fuss," I replied. Bonbon glanced at me with a twinkle in his eye. "So what can you do? Sleep upside down and cure people of stupid Instagram diseases. No one will see that without a reel." He sighed and continued fluttering his tail as if advertising shampoo. I stayed lying down. But honestly, for a moment, I wanted to be someone else. Someone who gets likes. Someone who is in the know. Someone who shoots videos about the morning routine of a minimalist golden retriever. I even tried it. I sat in the conscious dog pose, put my paw on my paw, narrowed my eyes a little, and fell on my side. Because balance isn't about posture. It's about acceptance. As one wise bulldog said, "If you're happy without views, you're already a star. Just without the editing." The next day, Andrew said, Let's go to a photo shoot. We need new content and a new avatar. I nervously rubbed my paw over my ear. What if I don't fit in the frame? What if my face looks wrong? What if someone likes the pug instead of me? We arrived at the park. Sun, birds, cafes with names like The Meaning of Life with Whipped Cream and Cappuccino Without Drama. Dozens of influencers were gathered around the fountain. One dog in a cashmere beret was posing on a scooter. Another was doing a lunge in sports leggings with the words "Run, Bark, Love" written on them. I lay down. Just like that. No frame, no sit pretty command. I just lay down on the warm tiles and closed my eyes. And you know what? I was photographed. A woman I didn't know whispered, "How peaceful. This dog is pure confidence and enjoyment of life. I have to post this." By evening, the photo had 1,000 likes. But I didn't care anymore. Because I caught myself thinking, maybe strength isn't about being perfect. It's about being confident even when your paws are a little dirty, when you still have burrs in your ears, or when you're sitting in a puddle. This week, I was taken to confidence lessons. That's what it said on the sign at the entrance. Inside, there was a dog trainer wearing a vest with "Licensed Barkotherapist" written on it. "Casper needs to learn how to behave better in crowds," Andrew said. Casper knows that the main thing in a crowd is not to get lost, I thought. In the first lesson, I had to hold my gaze. But honestly, how can you hold your gaze when there's a poodle with a bow next to you? In the second lesson, we were taught the confidence stance. I stood like a lion, until they called me over and said, "Come here, sweetie." Then I ran. Because real confidence isn't a pose. It's the freedom to run when you're loved. Then the dog trainer asked me, "How do you feel when a poodle in a Gucci coat walks by?" "Like I'm naked, but confident," I replied. "When was the last time you felt guilty?" He continued. I answered honestly, "When I ate the pillow. But it had a cat's face on it." He laughed. "That's not guilt. That's protecting your boundaries." Then we were led into a group therapy room. All the dogs were seated in a circle, a pug in a hoodie, a beagle with a chewed-up slipper, a poodle wearing glasses. In the center was a sign that read "Positive Circle." On the wall was a motivational poster. Every tail has its own path. Who wants to share? Maybe someone feels that they are not glamorous enough. Ask the dog trainer. Archie, a West Highland White Terrier, sadly reported that yesterday his owner told him that he had an imperfect curl. Silly Labrador Johnny added that his brother participates in dog shows, and he in the reconstruction of buried sausage. Fineshka, a yard aristocrat, just turned her nose up proudly, as if none of this concerned her at all. But I know who I am. I am Casper. I'm missing 2 teeth, a birth defect. And my style is freedom and confidence in my gaze. And I say to all of you, you are not. You are. Yes, you are. The dog handler laughed. Great job, Casper. Your sense of self-esteem is impeccable. And I didn't even smile, because I remember the main thing. Even if your tail isn't straight, that's no reason not to wag it. In the evening, Andrew and I sat on the balcony. He was drinking tea with something herbal that smelled like difficult decisions. I just looked at the stars, and I thought, I wonder if there's a smell of bacon in space? You know, Casper, he said suddenly, sometimes I don't do the right thing, or even go in the right direction. I didn't bark. I just laid my head on his lap. Because what can you say? I don't know who he'll be tomorrow, but I know who he is. My Andrew, the one who always shares the last piece of meat, covers me from the rain with his umbrella, and every morning says to himself in the mirror, well, shall we live another happy day? Just without comparing ourselves to others, without doubts, without self-flagellation. I know he sometimes has doubts, but that's how it is. Because confidence isn't when you always know what you're doing. It's when you allow yourself not to know and go ahead anyway. True confidence is when you don't even have a photo from your graduation, but you have a photo with your favorite bowl. When you're not the hero of the movie, but it's cameo. But even a cameo has its meaning. And while Andrew strokes my ear, laughs at how I snore in my sleep, and takes pictures of my nose, while not forgetting that I'm not perfect, but I'm his. He has a healthy self-esteem. Maybe not always brilliant, but normal. And that, in my opinion, is more than enough. Because, in the end, what is confidence? It's when you're sitting in your own puddle and you're fine with it. It's when burrs aren't a problem, but a style statement. It's when you don't explain why you're not running. You're just lying down because that's what you need to do right now. And if someone ever says that a dog can't teach a person anything new, I'll just look you in the eye and tell you the meaning of this complicated life and how to make it simple and happy. So listen to my own program, Self-Esteem in 3 Steps. Step 1. Stand in the doorway and don't move. Let them walk around you. Step 2. Look in the mirror. If you see a happy you, you're already doing great. Step 3. Get under a blanket. If you can't see yourself, but you feel great, you have self-esteem. You don't have to be the loudest in the room. Just be the fluffiest version of yourself. When you're in doubt, tuck your tail in. When you don't know where to go, lie down. When you're running out of time, breathe. And when everyone says, be better, just be. Be yourself. With your tail up. That was Casper. Not perfect, not polished, but completely, unapologetically me. And that's what confidence smells like, tail up and soul at ease.